Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. It's a quick story. Somebody, you got kids, and kids are going to test you, right? You put laws down, rules, regulations in the house, but kids' job is to try to figure out a way to follow rules, but then kind of bend them a little bit, see what they can get away with, right? That's what they do. Hell, adults do it too. Gotta admit it. Thing about it is, when you have laws and rules and they break them, you have to administer a punishment that makes them say, we're not doing this again. Sometimes it could be scolding. Sometimes you can tell them, I'm very disappointed in you. Sometimes it could be taking away some things for a little while. Sometimes it could be taking away some things and putting them on punishment so they can't leave the house for, who knows, days or weeks on end. Can't use the phone, can't use the devices. Got to read, clean the house every day, mow the yard every day. Well, those are stuff they should be doing anyway. But, just adding on to whatever, and then making them go to bed early and getting up early, stuff like that. Sometimes it may come down to, giving them not sparing the rod. Let's say that. Say it like that. Not saying that should be done all the time, but sometimes that's what has to happen. But the point is, you have to do something that they don't expect, right? Do something that's going to shock them, going to turn you into the bad guy, but it'll make sure that you're going to try your best, increase the percentages that they're not going to try that again, right? So, case in point, Greg Abbott, the governor of the great state of Texas, was busing all these migrants up to these sanctuary cities, right? And these people are mad. The one who's making the biggest statements are the two black mayors in Chicago and in New York, right? Especially a boy in Chicago. What's his name? Brandon Johnson. And so he said, well, he's going to write a law, which is like I tell you before many times in videos, that's why I can't take laws with a grain of salt, because laws, constitution, whatever, they can change them at the drop of a dime whenever they feel like it. 1 minute they're gonna let you vote for it. 1 minute they're gonna say, you ain't smart enough to vote for it. We gonna do it. Case in point, like in Chicago, with the sanctuary city, they won't let the citizens vote on if Chicago gonna be a sanctuary city or not. They won't let them vote on it. Crazy, ain't it? But you want them to vote for you and trust you, but what you have done is lost their trust because you giving money and resources to illegal immigrants who came over, not across the border where they come through a checkpoint and speak to somebody and go through immigration. No, they crossed the river and jumped the fence over the river and through the woods to your grandmama's house. And y'all think that's right. So anyway, your boy in Chicago, Brandon Johnson, said he's gonna write a law saying that he's gonna fine, sue, impound buses if they don't bring the buses when they tell them, where they tell them, and how to tell them. So you know what Greg Abbott did? The TexasTribune.org says Texas flies over 120 immigrants to Chicago in expansion of Governor Greg Abbott's busing plan. Let's get into this real quick. The flight comes after Chicago officials reportedly cracked down on buses coming from Texas with immigrant passengers. Since last year, Texas has bused over 80,000 immigrants to Democratic-led cities across the U.S. Let's see here. It said Texas flew over 120 immigrants from El Paso to Chicago on Tuesday as part of Governor Greg Abbott's policy of transporting recently arrived migrants to Democratic-led cities. He is described as sanctuary. No, he didn't describe them as sanctuaries. They described themselves as sanctuary cities. According to the governor's office, since April 2022, Abbott has ordered to to send buses with immigrant passengers to Washington, D.C., New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia, Denver, and Los Angeles, sometimes mocking those cities' leaders for saying they welcome immigrants and criticizing the Biden administration policy on immigration. So the thing is, Texas has been asking for help with these immigrants forever. Needed a wall. Trump, I think, started a wall. Once he got out of office, they tore the sun gun down, knowing it needs to be up. They got rid of his law that said, we're going to ship you back to Mexico if you catch it, period. And Democrats were like, they were so opposite for some reason of the Republicans. They like, no, y'all come on over, everybody come on over. And we down here in Texas, are the ones that got to feel it, right? Because number one, it's a red state. So that's probably why Democrats are like, most of them states down here, red states. So that's probably why they did it, trying to, one up us, trying to be funny, as we would say. But, dude, Governor Greg Abbott and anybody before him has been saying, look, need help down here with this border. And now the way the Democrats are doing things, they like thumbing their nose, like, not only are we not going to give you help, the red state, we're going to make it to where anybody can come over anytime and you can't do nothing to them. I was like, okay. But then you have these cities that said, oh, we're sanctuary cities. We've been sanctuary cities. They're welcome to come over here. See, the thing is, when these cities were originally sanctuary cities, you're talking about people who came across the waters or the seas from like Western countries, right? Europe, Italy, France, Germany, stuff like that, coming from over there. People that got the complexion for protection. And they would come to New York, Chicago, port towns, stuff like that. Stuff like, cities like that. San Francisco, cities like that. Asians come over that way. They wasn't really worried about Mexicans and South Americans or Caribbeans or whatever coming, because they're not going to make it up there. But not old Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott said, hey, how about this? Y'all hollering this sanctuary city like y'all doing something smart and we can't have them? Okay. We're gonna let you have them then. Since you so sanctuary, we're gonna make you show and prove. And that's what he did. Bust them up there. They got upset. Now they trying to stop him from busting. So he like, okay, what I say earlier, when somebody do something wrong, the only way to catch people's attention is go to that next step. A lot of times they don't think. You got to do what they don't think you're going to do. But when you do it, yeah, you're going to be the bad guy. But I bet they're going to listen. They're going to take you seriously one way or another. It says, in total, Texas has bused over 80,000 people from border cities to these 6 cities, according to the governor's office. Tuesday's flight was the first time Texas had used planes to transport immigrant passengers. According to a report by WTTW, a public broadcasting service member TV station in Chicago, city officials there have cracked down on some of the bus drivers coming from Texas, saying they've ignored municipal rules on where to drop off passengers. Last week, the city impounded a bus because the driver was not licensed to transport passengers. Because Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is failing to live up to his city's welcoming city ordinance by targeting migrant buses from Texas, we are expanding our operation to include flights to Chicago, like the Biden administration has been doing across the country, says Andrew Mahaleris, a spokesperson for Abbott. Until President Biden steps up and does his job to secure the border, Texas will continue taking historic actions to help our local partners respond to this Biden-made crisis. And it kind of makes you wonder, because I said it when did the video about when Greg Abbott made the law saying that, anybody coming to the Mexican border. Did I put that video out? I don't know. But anyway, coming across the Mexican border, they're going to get arrested. And I was like, now they want to take it to the Supreme Court and talk about constitutional rights and all this kind of stuff and want Biden's help. The thing about it is that law has been in motion and put in place months ago. and you heard nothing about it from the Democratic Party. Now all of a sudden the governor signs it, and you think Biden is going to stop it when he could have stopped it in his tracks if he wanted to. In his tracks at the inception. Because everybody else in the legislation in Texas agreed to it. So why they ain't stop it? Because for some reason, and I can't quite put my finger on it yet, but I know it'll hit me. For some reason, Joe Biden wants this to happen. And I'm not sure why, but he wants this to happen. All of, everything that's going on, because they're not stepping up and stopping anything. Because you're the president, and you got the cabinet with you, and you run the House and the Senate. You can stop anything. They say all of the migrants Texas has transported recently across the Texas-Mexico border turned themselves to immigration agents and were released after officials conducted a background check. According to the governor's office, migrants willingly accept Texas-sponsored transportation and sign a consent waiver. In the federal fiscal year, because you know why? Because Chicago and New York and them giving them money. And these sanctuary cities are giving them money, housing, and all this kind of stuff. Hell yeah, they want to get out of Texas. In the federal fiscal year 2023, which ended in September, there were 2 million encounters at the southern border between migrants and Border Patrol agents at the southern border. It represented a 7% decrease from the previous fiscal year, which had hit a record-breaking number 2.2 million encounters. It says in October, how many crossed? It was down 14% from 218,763 the month prior, according to the latest federal government data. But according to news reports, immigrant agents apprehend more than 10,800 immigrants across the southern border on Monday. Dang. Higher than the usual average of daily apprehensions, citing previously unreleased data. Let's see. Earlier this week, El Paso Mayor Rolando Salinas said on Tuesday that immigration officials estimated about 4,000 migrants crossed from Piedras Negras in Mexico to Eagle Pass the day before. Since March 2021, Abbott has employed different tactics to deter the immigrants from crossing Rio Grande, including stationing troopers and National Guard members across the Texas-Mexico border to arrest migrants on trespassing charges. He done put up a buoy. He done put up everything. And the government shutting him down. You notice that though, when they put that buoy up with the razors in, they said that was unconstitutional. They said they couldn't do that. Can't stop them. Again, Biden want all this stuff to happen for some reason. Just don't know yet. Just don't know why yet. They say on Monday, Biden signed Senate Bill 4 into law, which authorizes police to arrest people suspected of illegally crossing the Texas-Mexico border. Immigrant right groups in El Paso County have sued Texas, asking a federal judge to prevent SB 4 from going into effect. It's amazing. Everything he's doing to slow the immigrants coming down, they trying to intervene. But as long as he let them in and stay in Texas and go anywhere else, he can send them all over the country. They ain't saying nothing. Again, Biden administration want this stuff to happen. Just got to figure out why. As of now, the new law is scheduled to take effect on March 5th. The law will make it a state crime to cross Texas-Mexico border between ports of entry, which means if you ain't crossing over that road, you trying to go across that river and that water and under them buoys or whatever, that's when it's a crime. The new crime is a Class B misdemeanor carrying a punishment of up to 6 months in jail. Repeat offenders could face a second-degree felony with a punishment of 2 to 20 years. The law allows a judge to drop the charges if a migrant agrees to return to Mexico. So, again, Greg Abbott has just done up the ante. That's all. He done said, hey, y'all don't want to help us? We're going to help ourselves. Oh, now you're trying to stop us? We're gonna do something else. See, you can ship these people any way you want to. He might put them on a dang cargo train and just let them go on up there, plane, trains, and automobiles. The choices are endless, but something has to be done because it's too many of them coming over here. The problem is not the migrants, though. Can't get upset with the migrants because they're going to take it if you're going to give it to them. Human nature. The problem is your legislation. is allowing them to come over here illegally. From what I hear, you can't go to no other country and do no mess like this. They will detain you immediately. But here, for whatever reason, they're thinking different. But hey, this is one thing Biden is doing. He's gonna let y'all smoke weed and not get prosecuted for it. So hey, who knows? Win-win, huh? Anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Hey, shout out to Greg Abbott. He ain't my favorite governor. He ain't favorite nothing, but something like this. And this is what you gotta understand about politics real quick. When you stop voting on party lines and looking at the issues, that is what is supposed to sway your vote. When you see these people in Chicago saying, hey, we're going to turn this city red, or the Illinois red, because y'all allowing these migrants in and you're not helping the people who live here. Hell, you're not even helping the migrants who came here legally, who are trying to get in legally. You're not even giving them as many benefits as you are giving the illegal ones. Because the thing is, number one, regardless of what them Democrats try to make you think about Donald Trump, even Democrats are racist. Joe Biden, as we know, is on film. It's recorded. This man has said some racist things. Quite a few racist things. Them passed some racist laws. Quite a few racist laws. So they're all the same people. They're all whatever. Grew up together, kick it together in the same social club, went to the same schools. So they all think alike. So once you get off this Republican and Democrat stuff and say, hey, what are the issues? What is he fighting for? What is he running on? You say, hey, Greg Abbott, what are your issues on the immigrant? He's like, well, I'm trying to stop them from coming. The illegal ones, if they want to come over here legally, that's fine. But the illegal ones, they can't come over here like that. I'm gonna do everything I can to keep them from coming over here, or I'm gonna ship them off to the sanctuary cities. If the other guys say, hey, they should be able to come over here and get a better life. They're trying to seek asylum, blah 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 blah. Hey, you got a lot of black folks around here trying to seek asylum from the neighborhoods we in, schools that we in, jobs we in. Can't get that. And you say that, you think it's okay for them to come over. Then unfortunately, when I'm looking at the bigger picture and I'm like, shoot, these cats don't think nothing about, don't care nothing about us. I think I'm gonna go in them polls and vote for Greg Abbott. But he's a Republican. He's racist. You see he done racist thing. Yeah, okay, but they all are. All of them are. Once you realize that the majority of things and majority of people that's in positions of power and a lot of things that they put in place are based on race, then you're like, well, shoot, if they all like that, well, hell, why don't you see which is the best racist for me? Who gonna do more for me? Who gonna leave me alone and make my life a little easier? And on this issue, if this is the biggest issue, then it's like, well, I'm having to go on in there and like I say, and hit that little button for old Greg Abbott. I'm just saying, it's an example. Not saying that's what I'm gonna do, but I'm just saying if it came down to something like that. That's what you do. You vote for what'll benefit you and your family, not who's racist and who's not. Because if you don't believe that racism exists, just wake up and go outside. If you don't see it, then there's a problem. Kind of like when everybody was, we was boycotting the NFL. I mean, I still don't watch sports that much regardless, but when you think about it, say NFL because they didn't want to kneel for police brutality. Man, forget police brutality. It's there. They're not finna stop it. If they want to stop it, you know what? Again, anybody, Republicans, Democrats, they wanted to stop it, they wouldn't have to, you don't have to defund the police. You just get rid of them and start over with a new crop, new teaching. Or you would make it to where people that look like you are the one that's policing you in your neighborhoods. That's it. There's nothing complicated about it. There's don't need no big marching and protesting and bullcorn, something that lasts all the way up until election. No, things are simple. That's the thing about life. Life is simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. The plans are simple. The steps are simple. You just got to put them in place and take them one step at a time. But again, once you realize that everything around here is based on race, then it should clear your mind to say, hey, and shout out to brother Nita Fuller, because that's basically what he's saying. Once you realize, in his book he has, once you realize that's what it's about, then you do what you got to do for your family and for your people. And trust me, you'll get more done that way. A whole lot more done that way. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below and then share it with the world. Again, shout out to Greg Abbott. Keep doing what you're doing. Democrats, you want to keep them votes? Shoot, you better change. Better change your ways. With that being said, I leave you in peace. And I'll see you on the other side.